A winged horse fights mermaids in midair. Something with 8 fingers sits on the road. And a thing in a bone mask looks through a woman's window. These clips only get stranger.
Man, look at the tail. That's no human.
Sky versus sea. A winged horse, pale and massive, is being pulled toward the water, and it refuses to go. Below it, in the surf, mermaid-like figures with long tails are dragging at it, trying to pull it under. The horse fights back the only way it can. It chooses the sky. The horse beating upward, the figures clinging from below, neither one letting go. Not every creature belongs in the water, especially one with wings. Something in the surf. It starts as a normal day at the shore. Surf, sand, people standing around. Then, something moves in the shallow water that shouldn't be there. At first, the people on the beach think it's a mermaid. Then, it thrashes into view, and nobody is sure anymore. It moves low through the water like an alligator, but there's something human in the way it shifts its weight, something that doesn't fit a reptile at all. The waves keep half covering it. Nobody gets close. The onlookers just point and call out, trying to make each other see it too. Then it pulls back into the deeper water. 8 fingers. U.S. police responding to a call in a remote area found something on the ground that stopped every officer there. A huge creature, sitting hunched and still, head down, giant hands, a gigantic body, and one wing that looked like it had been torn away, as if the thing had fallen from somewhere high and couldn't get back up. When they looked closer, 8 fingers on each hand, 8 on each foot. It just sat there, head lowered, looking almost disappointed, like it knew exactly where it had ended up, and there was no way back. The thing on the highway. Late at night on a lonely road in Alberta, a driver spotted something massive walking ahead in the middle of the highway. At first, they thought it was a person. Then, the headlights got closer, and it was far too big to be one. It was covered in thick brown fur and walked slowly, upright, on 2 legs. They never saw its face, only its back, the entire time. For almost 30 seconds, they followed it down the empty road in complete silence. Then, it stepped off the highway and disappeared into the dark forest without a sound. The False Shepherd. The locals have a name for it. They call it the False Shepherd. They say it wears masks made of bone, and it uses them to copy the sounds of dying animals, crying, struggling, to lure people out of their cabins into the dark. For as long as anyone remembers, it has waited outside. But tonight, it stopped waiting. The footage catches it at the glass. Bone mask turned toward the camera, looking directly into a woman's room. It didn't call out this time. It didn't try to draw her outside. It just decided to come closer and look in for itself. The young one.
Man, look at the tail. That's no human.
It started as a normal deep-sea exploration. Routine footage, nothing unusual, until the camera caught this. A figure swimming just below the surface. Human shape, fishtail, and a way of moving that looks far too real to be an accident. It looked young, like a mermaid that was still growing up. The features were soft, and the way it moved, it seemed almost naive. A little scared of the camera watching it. Viewers still can't agree on what they're looking at. Some say CGI, some say AI, and some think it's something the ocean has been hiding all along. Lifted by the crane. She was unconscious when they found her. By the time she opened her eyes, it was already too late. Ropes were wrapped tight around her body, and a crowd of people stood watching from below. She tried to move her tail. It barely shifted. The crane had already lifted her into the air, dangling above the ground with nowhere to go. She twisted and pulled, but the ropes held firm. For a few seconds, she just hung there, surrounded by people she had never seen, in a world she was never supposed to be part of. The stare that didn't blink. A diver was 60 feet underwater off the coast of Japan when she appeared out of the dark. Long black hair floating around her shoulders, pale skin with veins showing through, a mouth slightly open with too many small, sharp teeth behind it. She did not move. She did not attack. She just floated directly in front of his mask and stared. His camera caught everything, every fingernail, every shadow beneath her eyes. He stayed completely still for 9 seconds. Then she turned and disappeared into the deep blue without leaving a single bubble behind. The white one. In 2023, fishermen off the coast of Fiji pulled their rafts ashore and found something already waiting for them. It was snow white, the size of a full-grown man, but longer, covered in thick slime that left marks on everything it touched. The tail was unmistakable, so were the hands. Nobody moved closer than they had to. The village elders gave it a name that roughly translated to the one that comes before something worse. 3 weeks later, a storm destroyed half the coastline. Nobody has fished that stretch of water since. It shouldn't have survived that. The hook caught it at 2,000 feet below the surface. By the time it reached the boat, it should have been dead. Pressure change alone kills most deep-sea creatures within minutes. This one was still screaming, pale, hairless, with a face that sat somewhere wrong between fish and human. Its tail beat against the hull, while its mouth stayed wide open, making a sound nobody on that boat had ever heard before. Marine biologists reviewed the footage and could not identify the species. They stopped responding to emails shortly after. The waters they were warned about.
It looks like a mermaid.
Captain Eric Halverson had been warned twice. The stretch of water beyond Lofoten was off limits after dark. He went anyway. 2 hours out, his crew saw them. 2 pale figures swimming alongside the boat, matching its speed turn for nearly 40 minutes. The footage shows the shock on Eric's own face before he even turned the camera outward. When he finally did, the figures were close enough to see clearly. He returned to port before sunrise. His fishing license was revoked the following week. No explanation was ever given. The fortune nobody could hold. When the net came up, nobody on deck was ready for what was inside. A face that looked almost human, with long copper hair and skin that seemed carved rather than natural. Below the waist, a gold-scaled tail, still wet, thrashing hard enough to send grown men sliding across the deck. She screamed, not like an animal, like something that knew exactly what was happening. 3 men could not hold her. She went back over the railing within minutes. Old fishermen say whoever keeps one never needs to work again. Nobody ever has. Nobody wanted to touch it. 2 fishermen off the coast of Indonesia pulled their net up at sunrise and immediately went quiet. The creature inside was massive, gray-purple skin, a face too close to human, its mouth slightly open, its eyes catching the morning light in a way fish eyes simply do not. Nobody was willing to use their hands. They hoisted it up with a crane hook instead. It was not fully dead when it came aboard. The footage was posted once, shared 170,000 times, then deleted without explanation. The fishermen have not posted anything since. It started as turbulence beneath the hull, the kind the strait throws at you without warning, but this felt different, deeper, more deliberate, like something enormous was deciding whether to surface. Then it did. Dark-scaled skin breaking through the white water alongside the ship, a head emerging that belonged to nothing living in any ocean today. Broad, heavily armored, yellow eyes burning through the spray, and a jaw dropping open to reveal rows of thick, jagged teeth as it rose fully out of the deep and slammed into the side of the vessel. The roar that came with it rolled across the water like a shockwave. The strait had been hiding something beneath its surface for a very long time, and whatever it was, it had finally decided to come up, and the crew had nowhere to go. Sailors have feared the Strait of Hormuz for centuries. Now they have footage proving why. A fully loaded cargo vessel was midway through the strait when the ocean beneath it simply erupted. A creature of impossible scale, black, ancient, covered in armored scales, breached directly over the ship, its body curving overhead like a living mountain. The deck crumpled. Containers were hurled into the sea. Crew held onto railings as the shockwave hit. It hung above them for 3 terrifying seconds before plunging back into the deep. Of the 22 crew members aboard, only 17 could be accounted for when rescuers arrived.
Oh my God!
The strait had not finished. That same night, at a nearby dock, something pulled itself out of the black water without any warning. Gray-skinned, wide, flat face, hollow eyes, it hauled its coiled body onto the wooden planks and simply started crawling forward. No hesitation, no fear. People standing just feet away froze completely. It moved toward them with slow, deliberate confidence, as if docs and humans were nothing new to it, as if it had done this before, many times before. It stopped, looked directly into the camera, then turned and slipped back into the water as silently as it had arrived. The nets came up with something that should have died the moment it left the water. Instead, it thrashed, breathed, and within seconds had wrapped every tentacle around the fisherman's face in a grip that took 4 hands to eventually break. It squeezed, it inked black liquid flooding his airways as he fought to pry it loose, blood already visible on his shirt from where the suckers had torn skin. Nearly a full minute passed before it finally released and was thrown back into the sea. It hit the water and immediately descended without floating, without slowing, something that cannot drown, cannot be suffocated, and fights like it knows exactly what it is doing.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Safari workers filming from their vehicle watched it happen in real time and could do nothing. 1 second, she was at the water's edge. The next, a crocodile had her legs locked in its jaws and was dragging her into the shallows with mechanical, merciless force. Her elephant reacted before any human could. Tusks wrapped around her torso, pulling back with every pound of its enormous weight in the opposite direction. The camera cuts. Those who were there say the elephant won, but the crocodile did not leave without taking something permanent. She survived. She will never walk again.
¿Qué estarán jalando esas brujas allá abajo?
Parece una lechuza grandota, pero fíjate la cara.
No one in the region believed the tribe when they announced they had caught it. Then the footage surfaced. Robed figures gathered in a desert, clearing around a chained, winged creature. Iron links wrapped thick across its body, staffs and ropes holding it to the ground. It had looked captured. It had looked contained for exactly 4 minutes. Then every chain snapped simultaneously. The creature unfolded wings wider than the clearing itself, rose vertically into the blue sky with one single beat, and locked eyes with the camera for just a moment before ascending beyond the tree line. Some things, they decided, were never meant to be held. If you were in that situation, what would you have done? Look again. There's more than meets the eye. Some encounters stay with you forever.
Document the wilderness for views. And then there are people who stumble onto something that makes every previous upload feel completely irrelevant. Jake Harmon and Chris Vidal are 2 outdoor adventure vloggers from Colorado. Mid-30s, seasoned trekkers, the kind of men who have camped in places most people would not locate on a map. They run a channel called Outbound Raw with just under 200,000 subscribers. Drone shots, cliff trails, river crossings, nothing unusual until this trip. Deep in a forested canyon on their 4th day out, Chris spotted it first, half submerged in a shallow creek bed, completely motionless. They both assumed dead. Jake got closer and stopped cold. It was breathing. The creature lay on its side, pale salmon pink, nearly 10 feet from its domed skull to the end of its split tail. The spine pressed visibly up through thin skin. The membrane surrounding the lower body moved slowly with each breath. The eye sockets were closed, the vertical slit of a mouth slightly parted. Jake looked at Chris. Chris was already pulling the rope from his pack. They worked fast, quietly, binding the appendages while it slept, keeping distance from that skull. And then it opened its eyes. Both men froze, but they held the rope. And this time, whatever came out of the shadows was not going back in.
Let me go! Hold it, keep the rope tight! Hold it, keep the rope tight!
There are stretches of coastline in this country so remote that whatever washes ashore on them is seen by exactly one person before the tide decides to take it back. The photograph was posted on December 28, 2024 by an account called Strange Eye. No location beyond a river beach somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. No explanation. The man standing beside it is believed to be Mark Ellison, 44 years old, a property surveyor from Portland, Oregon. He had driven out alone that morning to document erosion patterns along a stretch of riverbank after an unusually violent high tide the night before. He told followers in a comment that he heard nothing, smelled nothing. He simply turned a bend in the shoreline, and it was there, sitting upright in the wet sand like it had been placed. Mark said he initially thought giant jellyfish, then decomposing stingray. Then he got closer and both of those explanations quietly dissolved. Now look at it beside him. Mark is not a small man, and this thing, sitting partially collapsed on the sand, still reaches his chest. Fully extended, witnesses who were later contacted estimated it at nearly 8 feet from skull to tail tip. The head is what stops you. Smooth, domed, hairless, with a skull structure that carries proportions no marine animal on record shares. 2 deep black eye sockets with no visible pupils. A vertical slit where a mouth should be. No teeth exposed, no jaw definition. Just that hollow, upward-facing stare that looks less like a dead animal and more like an empty mask. The spine presses visibly up through the skin along the central body like something architectural rather than biological. And from the waist down, 2 lower appendages stretch out and split apart into what looks like a warped, serrated tail fin, surrounded by a translucent membrane that has the look of unfinished embryonic tissue. Skin that was never quite completed, the strangest detail. No flies, no decay smell despite the heat, no birds circling. Whatever biological process normally announces death had simply not begun. After the image went viral, the internet divided into 2 hard camps. One insisted it was an AI-generated biomodel deliberately released to test public reaction to the idea of unknown species. The other pointed to deep-sea biology, arguing that creatures from pressurized depths deform catastrophically when they surface, and that something from far enough down could look like nothing we have ever cataloged. I at least skipped over the same detail. That skull, that specific dome, that vertical mouth, Haida oral tradition along the Pacific Northwest coast carries accounts of a deep water being they called the hollow-faced wanderer, a creature that lived below the light line of the ocean and surfaced only when the water above it was disturbed by something significant. Their accounts described it as pale, wing-like, with eyes that had already stopped seeing long before it died. Mark said in a follow-up post that he stood there for nearly 20 minutes before he could bring himself to touch it. He said it was not the appearance that held him. It was the feeling that whatever this was had not washed ashore by accident. It had arrived. There are crew members on that river to this day who will not talk about what they saw on that bank, and the ones who will all describe the exact same thing. The Colorado River Expedition is a licensed whitewater rafting company that runs guided trips down the upper Colorado through some of the most remote stretches of canyon wilderness in the country. On a Thursday afternoon in late July 2023, lead guide Derek Souza, 34, pulled his crew of 8 ashore on a flat red bank for a rest stop. Standard procedure. 15 minutes, stretch your legs, drink some water. Derek said he noticed the tree line first, a dense wall of pine about 500 yards up the bank sitting completely still in air that had no wind. Then one section of it moved, not the gentle sway of branches settling, a violent, deliberate parting, like something large was pushing through from the other side with no interest in being quiet about it. Derek told his crew to stay by the rafts. Then it stepped out. The height is what hits you first. This thing clears the surrounding pine saplings by a full body length. We are looking at something between 8 and 10 feet tall, upright, moving on 2 legs with a heavy rolling gait that makes the ground look like it should be shaking under each step. The entire body is covered in thick reddish-brown hair, matted and dense across the chest and shoulders, longer and darker down the arms. The arms themselves hang almost to the knee. The hands are enormous, fingers thick and defined, swinging with each stride. The face. Even at 500 yards, the camera catches enough. A broad, flat brow, deep-set eyes beneath it. A jaw that is wide and heavy and set with an expression that reads as neither curious nor afraid. It walked the tree line for nearly 40 seconds, glancing toward the river once, then disappeared back into the pines without any urgency whatsoever. Like it had simply come out to look. Like it already knew exactly what was on that bank and had decided this time to let them leave. Derek filed an incident report with the National Park Service the same evening. He received a standard acknowledgement email and nothing else. No ranger follow-up, no wildlife investigation, no official curiosity about a 10-foot bipedal creature walking the banks of one of the most visited rivers in the American West. Was this the same Bigfoot documented in over 10,000 reported sightings across North America dating back centuries? a creature that every indigenous nation along this river system has a name for, long before settlers ever arrived, or something the Forest Service knows about and has quietly decided the public does not need to be told. Because Derek said when it looked toward the river, it did not look like something discovering humans for the first time. It looked like something checking in on them. Pull out their phone to film something small and ordinary and end up capturing something they cannot explain for the rest of their life. That is exactly what happened to Ryan Carver, 29 years old, an amateur wildlife photographer from Flagstaff, Arizona. He had hiked that specific canyon stretch at least a dozen times before. He knew the terrain. He knew the wildlife. He thought he knew what lived there. It was a Tuesday morning in late September 2024 when he posted the clip with almost no caption. And within 48 hours, 3 million people had watched it. He was alone between the red sandstone walls where the trails stop and the silence gets heavy. Movement between the boulders caught his eye, and he assumed lizard. You would too. He almost kept walking, but something made him stop. The movement had weight behind it, too deliberate for something small. So he zoomed in. What came into frame was copper brown, almost perfectly matched to the rock it sat on. The scales were not the flat shimmer of a normal lizard. They were thick, layered. The body was muscular in a way that felt wrong for this region. Dog-sized is how Ryan described it. Watching the footage, I think that might be underselling it. Then there was the dorsal ridge, long defined spines running neck to tail. Nothing cataloged in the American Southwest has a structure like that. And above the eye line, 2 horn nubs. Not decorative, structural. Here is what unsettled me most. It was not scared of him. It was watching him. There is a difference, and this animal knew it. Then it leaped. Dust kicked up, and in that half second of airtime, the footage catches something I have rewatched 30 times. Flaps, under both arms. Skin membranes fanning open mid-jump and folding back clean on landing. The only creature built like that on this planet is the Draco volans, native exclusively to Southeast Asian rainforests. Not Arizona, not anywhere close. It turned and looked directly into the camera, calm, unhurried, then dropped into a crack between 2 rocks that nothing that size should fit through. Gone. Ryan told followers in the comments he stood there for several minutes, unable to move. He said it did not feel like fear. It felt like the ground had quietly shifted under everything he thought he knew about that canyon. He has not hiked that trail since. Honestly, that detail is what keeps me up at night.
Bro, that's not a lizard.
But the Grand Canyon, it seems, is not done with us yet. If you scroll past this footage the first time, you will probably think CGI. Old tape grain, suspicious timestamp, obvious AI. But wait, listen to the full story behind it. The clip was posted by an account called Redacted Depth, tagged Grand Canyon Sundance. No explanation, no caption beyond 5 words. Dogmen Tribe of the Grand Canyon. The timestamp burned into the upper corner reads May 10th, 1993, 5:42 p.m. Now here is where it gets interesting. A retired park archaeologist named Thomas Reed spent nearly a decade documenting indigenous rock art along the canyon's north rim before his contract was quietly terminated in 2001. In a 2009 interview with a small Utah Heritage Journal, Reed described a specific petroglyph panel he had found deep in an unmapped side canyon. 3 creatures, standing upright on 2 legs at the edge of the canyon rim. And that detail alone should stop you cold, because nothing in the documented wildlife of the American Southwest does that. Not at that size, not with that posture. The heads are the first thing. Long, elongated snouts, heavy brow line. The skull shape is canine, but the body underneath it is not. The shoulders are wide and set high. The torso is thick. These things are built like something that has been carrying weight its entire life. And they are not just standing there. They are digging, actively working the gravel around what lies in front of them. And what lies in front of them is what made my stomach drop the first time I saw this. A bone. A single bone so large it stretches nearly out of frame. The joint at the base is the size of a boulder. Whatever this came from was not a deer, was not an elk, was not anything in the catalog of North American megafauna that we currently acknowledge. The creatures dig around it methodically, not frantically, not the way a hungry animal tears at a carcass, deliberately, like they are excavating something that belongs to them. And sometimes what makes footage like this haunting is not what you see moving in the frame. It is what you realize has been living there all along. Men are not the oldest thing that has been seen in that canyon. This clip started circulating in early 2024 with almost no origin information attached. No name, no location tag beyond the unmistakable layered red rock of the Grand Canyon walls stretching out behind it. Just two side-by-side images and a single question in the caption. Whose hand is this? And I want you to actually look at it before I say anything else. Because your brain is going to try to scale it down. It is going to try to tell you it is a normal hand at a weird angle, a prop, a sculpture, because that is not a hand resting on a rock ledge. Those canyon walls behind it, the ones that stretch hundreds of feet down into the gorge, the ones that took millions of years of erosion to carve out. Those walls are coming up to its knuckles. The fingers alone are the size of mature pine trees. The palm is wider than a hillside. This is not something that stands on the canyon floor and reaches up. This is something so large that the entire Grand Canyon, one of the biggest geological formations on the surface of this earth, sits comfortably beneath its grip. The skin is what silenced me. Deeply lined, ancient, weathered the way stone weathers, not the way flesh does. The veins running across the back of the hand are raised like ridges on a topographic map. The fingernails are worn flat and dark, like something that has been dragging itself across mountain ranges. Now, here is what history buried. In 1909, the Arizona Gazette ran a front-page story on a Smithsonian expedition that claimed to have found enormous tunnels carved into the canyon walls. Inside were oversized chambers, massive stone tools, and skeletal remains of beings estimated at over 12 feet tall. The Smithsonian denied it completely. The records disappeared. The explorers were never named again. That was 1909. And now someone is standing at the rim of that same canyon, looking up at a hand so large it makes the canyon walls look like pebbles beneath its fingers. Just when you thought the desert had shown you everything it was hiding, this surfaces. And this one is different, because whatever this is, it is not running from anything. The man behind this footage is believed to be Marcus Hale, 51 years old, a retired field geologist from Montana who had spent nearly 6 years tracking a pattern of oversized footprints across remote highland terrain in Central Asia. Not bear prints, not any identifiable animal, bipedal. Each print nearly 3 times the length of a human foot, with a stride gap suggesting something walking upright at an extraordinary height. Marcus had been quietly documenting them since 2018, crossing ridgelines most people never reach, following a trail that kept leading back to the same mountain range. On the morning he shot this footage, he had been awake for 31 hours, and what walked out of that cave made every single sleepless hour feel worth it. The figure clears the cave entrance by a full head, and that entrance sits well above a normal door frame, 11, maybe 13 feet tall, moving on 2 legs with a slow, completely unbothered stride. Not stumbling, not lost, walking like it owns every inch of that hillside. The body is painfully thin, ribcage pressing through pale stretched skin, arms hanging too low, fingers nearly reaching the knee. The head slightly oversized for the neck holding it, heavy brow, deep-set eyes, human enough to recognize, wrong enough to make your stomach turn, and then look inside the cave behind it. A lit torch, planted in the ground, casting deep orange light into the tunnel. Something down there maintains fire. Marcus filed a formal report with 2 government agencies within a week of returning. He attached the footage, the footprint measurements, the coordinates. 3 weeks later, his wife told journalists he had stopped returning calls. He has not been heard from since. So was this a prehistoric species that somehow survived in those mountains undocumented? A missing link that every institution quietly agrees to ignore? Or did Marcus find something that certain people decided the rest of us should never know about? And why does a creature that has never encountered humans walk out into open daylight without a single trace of fear? Marcus found in those mountains, what these 6 college students stumbled onto makes you wonder if the same thing is nesting on every forgotten peak on this planet. It was a weekend trek. 6 friends, all students at Arizona State University, led by 22-year-old Priya Nair, a biology major who had organized the hike as a birthday trip for her roommate. They had been climbing for 4 hours through a remote canyon ridge when they spotted the cave, high up, carved into the cliff face, the kind of opening that does not appear on any trail map because no trail was ever built to reach it. They almost kept walking. Then something moved in the dark at the back of that entrance. It stepped forward slowly, and what came into the light stopped every single one of them mid-breath. The body was the size of a horse, easily. Brown and rust-colored feathers covering a deep barrel chest, 4 legs planted wide on the rock like load-bearing pillars, taloned feet gripping the stone with a precision that suggested it had stood on that ledge 10,000 times before. The wings spread as it moved forward, and the span of them nearly touched both sides of the cave mouth. The head was pure raptor, sharp hooked beak, white-faced, with eyes that caught the light like polished amber and locked directly onto them without a single blink. It was not startled. It was not confused. It was guarding. And then Priya noticed something beneath it, tucked between its front legs, a smaller creature half hidden in shadow, limbs that did not move like any animal she had studied, a shape that had no clean category. She told a university forum later that looking at it directly felt wrong in a way she could not put into words. The bird creature spread its wings wider, a single slow motion that needed no translation. They ran. The following morning, Priya contacted the university's zoology department and campus security. 2 days later, she returned with 4 faculty members, 2 park rangers, and a wildlife researcher. The cave was empty. No feathers, no prints, no markings on the rock, no evidence that anything had ever stood in that entrance, nothing except a single deep scratch in the stone floor of the cave that the wildlife researcher measured at nearly 4 feet across, made by something with very large claws. So what was it? A griffin, the winged lion of ancient mythology described in texts from Greece, Persia, and Mesopotamia dating back 4,000 years. Could those ancient accounts not be legend, but documentation? A prehistoric apex predator that somehow survived in isolated mountain terrain, unknown to modern science, or something else entirely, something that does not fit any category we currently allow ourselves to consider. And what was that smaller creature sheltering beneath it? Because Priya said when it looked back at her, it did not have the eyes of something young or helpless. It had the eyes of something that had been waiting to be found. And every creature we have covered so far was at least something you could file away under unknown species. What comes next does not have that luxury, because mythology just showed up on a hillside in broad daylight, and someone almost did not live to tell about it. In 2022, an anonymous user uploaded a video with nothing in the caption except a date, November 7th, 2001. The timestamp burned into the bottom corner of the footage confirmed it. This clip had been sitting somewhere for 21 years before someone decided the world was finally ready to see it. Who held on to it that long? Why release it now? Nobody has ever come forward with an answer. The footage was shot from behind a cluster of dry brush on a steep canyon hillside. Whoever is holding the camera is trying to stay hidden. You can hear their breathing, controlled, deliberate. The kind of breathing someone does when they are terrified but desperately trying not to move. And then you see why. Moving up that hillside is something that your brain will refuse to process on the first watch. From the waist down, it is a horse. Deep brown, powerful, muscular hindquarters moving with the full weight and gait of a stallion. From the waist up, it is a man. Bare-chested, broad-shouldered, deeply built across the arms and torso. Dark hair falling past the shoulders, a face with sharp, defined features, and a jaw set with an expression that reads as focused, purposeful, aware. This is not a man riding a horse. There is no rider. There is no saddle. There is no separation. The human torso grows directly out of the horse body in one continuous, unbroken form. It is climbing that hillside at a pace no human could match on that gradient. Loose rock and steep incline, and it moves like the terrain is flat. Then it stops. Its head turns slowly toward the brush. It has heard something. The camera begins to shake. Whoever is filming takes a single step back, and a twig snaps under their foot. And in that half second, everything changes. The creature's expression shifts from focus to something much darker. The nostrils flare, the shoulders square, and it turns and charges directly toward the camera with a speed that makes the footage blur. The clip ends. Not with a scream, not with a fall, just a sudden cut to black, like the hand holding the camera simply stopped. No follow-up was ever posted. The account that uploaded it deleted itself within 48 hours of the video going viral. And the person behind the lens, whoever crouched behind that brush on a November morning in 2001 and captured something that should not exist, has never been identified. So who held this footage for 21 years, and why did they finally let it go? Was it guilt? Was it fear wearing thin with old age? Or did someone release it because the thing on that hillside is no longer something they need to keep secret? Because the centaur is not a Greek invention. Cultures across Central Asia, ancient Persia, and Native American tradition all carry independent accounts of half-human, half-horse beings. Separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, none of them connected. All of them describing the same thing. And somewhere on a hillside in 2001, a camera got close enough to make those ancient accounts feel less like mythology and more like field notes. Charging at you in daylight is terrifying. Try encountering what these campers found in complete darkness at 2 in the morning. 4 friends on a camping trip in remote canyon country, somewhere along the Arizona-Nevada border. Jake Mercer, 28, a high school teacher from Phoenix, had organized the trip. 3 nights, no itinerary, just tents and open sky. By the second night, they were settled around a dying fire when they heard it. A girl, crying, then screaming. The kind of screaming that bypasses logic and goes straight to your spine. High-pitched, desperate, the unmistakable sound of someone in genuine distress calling for help. Jake said it sounded like a teenager, like a young girl who had fallen or gotten lost in the dark, so they grabbed their torch and went toward it. They wished they had not. Standing on the cliff face across the narrow canyon was a figure. Small, the height and frame of a girl no older than 15. A deep red dress hanging still in air that had no breeze. Long, thin arms and legs. Too thin, the kind of thin that looks structural rather than human. Long black hair falling completely over the face like a curtain drawn shut. And then the hair shifted. 2 eyes, burning red, not reflecting light the way animal eyes do in the dark, generating it. Deep, steady, unblinking crimson light coming from inside whatever was behind that hair. No pupils, no whites, just 2 glowing points of red staring directly, completely at them. Jake said the screaming had stopped the moment they arrived, like it was never distress at all, like it was a call. The figure stood on a near vertical cliff face with no grip, no ledge, no visible footing, just standing, perfectly balanced, as if gravity had quietly excused itself from the situation. It did not move toward them. It did not move at all. It simply watched, with the patience of something that has done this before, something that already knows how the night ends. Jake told me they backed away slowly without saying a single word to each other. No one spoke until they reached the tents. No one slept until sunrise. So what was it? A banshee, the wailing harbinger of Celtic folklore whose scream was never a cry for help, but a warning. A Pontianak, the South Asian spirit of a young woman who lures people toward her with the sound of crying before revealing what she truly is. Or something the canyon has been keeping in its walls long before any of those traditions had names for it, because that screaming had to come from somewhere, and whatever was standing on that cliff was not the one in distress. Now it is your turn to share your thoughts and your own experiences. Leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe, because we will be back with even bigger mysteries.
Who wouldn't love a fluffy white cloud on a clear blue day? Maybe even a pinkish red sunset cloud can be charming. But imagine being out and about in Turkey and seeing a massive circular bright red cloud standing on its own, detached from the other clouds. It's not exactly your average everyday sight. People started to speculate, and rumors even spread that it might have been a UFO. However, no official confirmation was ever made regarding this strange and unusual phenomenon in the sky. What do you guys think? Do let us know in the comments below.
Hiding alien. Forests are for sure home to many wild animals, but besides these critters, there have been times when some of the most unbelievable things have been spotted. One such outwardly creature was observed in the old, terrifying Appalachian Mountains. A man, while exploring these vast mountains, heard some strange noise coming out of the woods. Thinking of a wild boar, he decided to film, and what he found instead was downright petrifying. A small, unidentified creature was spying at him from behind a fallen log. Upon a closer look, the creature looked more like an alien. Many claimed it could be an injured animal trying to hide from the man. However, the owner of this video still thinks that he has captured an alien. Wood chaser. While walking through the woods, keep your eyes open, because you have no idea what might be sneaking at you from behind one of the scary bushes. Just like this guy, who received the shock of his life while trying to capture some cute moments of cougar babies.
Go away. Go away. I'm big and scary.
Suddenly, from behind a thick bush, a mama cougar emerged and made a crazy growl. The terrified guy tried both to escape and to confront the cougar by keeping an eye on her. He started yelling and grunting while the lion continued to follow him with her teeth flashing, ears pinned, and tail swishing. Fortunately, after those minutes of terror, he managed to pick up a rock and hurl it at her. And that's when she took off running back down the trail. Biped fox. This next footage will surely make you rub your eyes, because we have something new that is not an everyday sight. A UK resident was surprised to spot an extremely rare visitor in his backyard. Though we've seen many biped animals before, most of which are deer, this time it was a biped fox. In this short video, the two-legged fox could be seen moving across the ground skillfully by putting behind its major missing. Although it's unclear whether the critter lost its legs during a fight or it was born disabled, the main thing to notice is that it was still surviving. The fox was named Flexi, and after making this rare appearance, it was not seen again. Lion dog. With their large, muscular bodies, dense lion-like mane, tight, wolf-like feet, and strong jaws under which lies an abnormal growth, it's no wonder that this unique animal is about to get the top position in the animal kingdom. The curious onlookers couldn't believe their eyes after they found this strange pair of animals, which looked like a cross between a dog and a lion. This odd-looking duo was discovered in the hot and arid desert of Iraq. There are several theories about these strange puppies, as some people believed that they might be hybrid lion-dog animals. Yet another group of people is suggesting that they might be Coochie dogs that are also known as the Afghan Shepherds. Mountain lion burying a bull elk. The trail camera witnessed another distressing scene where the mountain lion is burying a bull elk. First, the mountain lion killed the elk and buried him under the mud. The whole process of concealing it is captured by the camera. The mountain lion ate the flesh of the elk and buried away the leftovers. It is one of the rarest videos in which a lion depicts a human-like character. Burying the dead is indeed not a normal habit of a lion. Horse ignoring the wild wolves. Prepare yourself to see a jaw-dropping clip of a horse wandering around wild wolves. The horse is ignoring the wild wolves around him. He is restlessly rolling in the mud. To our surprise, even the wild wolves are shocked to see the unbothered horse. It seems like the horse has no aim and has come in the company of wild wolves for friendship. Even the wolves are ready for it because they are peacefully staring at the horse. Unexplained creature. This mind-blowing trail footage unravels an unexplained creature. It is a black creature with 4 legs and white, shining eyes, which makes it hard to identify it. Just look at the scary eyes of this animal. On top of that, This video was captured in the dark night with some horror sounds of these wild creatures in the back. With every inch closer to this animal, it gets more horrifying to see. Mike the Headless Chicken. It is very brave of you all for sticking with this. Believe me, some more disturbing shots are yet to come. Have you ever seen a headless chicken? Yes, this is Mike, a headless chicken. It has not only survived a month or two, but has successfully lived up to 18 months. Isn't this spine-chilling? A chicken with no head has lived up to the age of a normal chicken. Told you this is gonna be crazy. 2 bobcats negotiate a date. Trust me, you'll be thrilled to see 2 bobcats negotiating a date. They see each other from a distance and start yowling. As they approach each other, they look into the eyes with constant growling. Both give awkward poses with rapid tail twitching. The gray cat is the female, and the red one is the male. It seems that the whole scene is directed by a renowned director. Can you believe that this loving video was captured on Valentine's Day? Deer sticks out tongue. Deer are known for their naughty behavior. We have mischievous footage for you this time. This is a whitetail from early June in full velvet antlers in the Kamloops, British Columbia area. Deer are fast with their tongues, so we had to freeze the frame at the right moment. This deer was using his nose and tongue to pick up a scent on the trail.
The wolf attack on a man. Once upon a time, there was a cameraman on an instigative adventure deep in the wild. He was on a charge to capture the fugitive and mysterious wolves on film. With his camera ready and heart pounding with excitement, he ventured into the desert. After hours of patient waiting, he eventually stumbled upon a quiet cave. To his amazement, inside the cave were a mama wolf and her bitsy, lovable babies. The cameraman could not believe his luck, and he sluggishly moved closer to get the perfect shot. But as he inched nearer, the mama wolf grew nervous and defensive. In an unforeseen, fearful moment, she attacked the cameraman, teeth disclosed and growling. He realized he'd come too close, too quickly, and the wolf was only trying to defend her precious pups. In a frantic struggle, the cameraman fought to cover himself, trying not to harm the wolf. Ultimately, he managed to retreat safely, shaken, but alive. It was a lesson learned about considering the wild and the significance of keeping a safe distance from its inhabitants. A hungry monkey. Once upon a time in a big hot desert, there was actually an empty monkey. The sun was shining so brightly that the sand felt like a hot roaster. The monkey's abdomen rolled loudly and he could not ignore his hunger any longer. With his little monkey hands, he dug into the hot beach, looking for being to eat. At first, all he set up were some dry sticks and rocks, but he did not give up. He knew that the desert had secrets hidden deep beneath the beach. Also, after some digging and forbearance, he set up a secret treasure, a juicy, ripe cactus fruit. The fruit was a bright orange color and looked so appetizing. The monkey could not believe his luck. His eyes sparkled with joy as he plucked the fruit from the cactus and bit into it. The sweet and juicy meat cooled his parched throat, and he savored every bite. With each bite, the monkey's hunger sluggishly evaporated, and he felt a renewed energy. He knew he'd set up a mess fit for a desert king, and he enjoyed every last bit of that delicious cactus fruit. The monkey, now gratified and full, lay back in the shade of the cactus, appreciative for his desert feast.
Elk with a tire. So there was this video from a trail cam that showed an elk wearing a tire like a necklace. Can you believe it? For 2 whole years, this poor guy just went about his business with the tire around his neck. As time passed, his antlers and neck grew bigger, making it impossible for him to remove the tire by himself. Thankfully, the wildlife officials stepped in to help. They gave him some medicine to make him sleep and then tried to take off the tire. But unfortunately, they had to cut off his antlers too. But don't worry, the elk will grow a fresh new pair of antlers soon enough. A genet. Did I just see a tiny cat chilling on the backs of some huge animals? When this video first hit the internet, it was pretty mind-blowing and left everyone wondering how the cat was so chill about it all. Some folks even quipped that the cat must have been crowned the new queen of the animal kingdom. But wait, the experts had their say too. They explained that the cat, which is a genet, was probably just being clever and using the other animals as a lookout for hunting. How cool is that? That little cat definitely knows how to get what it wants. The subscribers pick. This image shows us a weird, long, whitish creature in the woods. Doesn't it look really, really scary? Well, if you're thinking this might be real, let us assure you it isn't. The image belongs to a very famous horror artist named Trevor Henderson, and along with this one, he's made a couple of other creatures too, including the famous Siren Head, the cartoon cat, the bridge worm, the wandering faith, and many more. But who knows? There's always a chance that some of them can be real. Elephants. This incredible trail cam video captured a herd of elephants passing through the jungle. It's such a rare sight to see these majestic animals in their natural habitat, and this footage is truly breathtaking. The elephants appear so mighty as they make their way through the forest, with the females and young ones all together. It's amazing to think that trail cams can capture these kinds of moments in the wild, and this video's a great reminder of the beauty and power of nature.
Sasquatch Shadow. It appears here for a split second before disappearing. What may this flashing object be that was captured on camera? Many people thought the animal captured on camera was a mountain lion or possibly a bear, but when the footage was shown to the investigators, they discovered that the animal was actually a baby Sasquatch. This is due to the animal's incredible speed and the plausible head that appears on the camera, indicating that it's a bipedal animal. A second identical creature was seen on video, most likely excavating on the forest's ground. It appears to have limbs and legs similar to the rumored Bigfoot. So, is that video footage of a Bigfoot? Or do you have a better explanation? Tell me, please. Biped wolf. Driving close to a forest after midnight, the motorist had to apply the brakes right away after seeing something strange. No, it wasn't a Yeti, but rather a wolf ambling on its hind legs. He was already terrified of the stories of the Bigfoot. But hold on a second. Is that a wolf, really? Its slender limbs, peculiar feet, and hardly noticeable ears don't really give it a dog-like appearance. However, it does possess the wolf's fuzzy-like skin. Is that a wolf or some other kind of animal? Tell me what you think of the odd wolf photo. Intruder alert. When the camera was recording the bald eagle's nest, something unsettling happened. Initially, the mother eagle is observed tending to the eggs and then taking a brief flight away from the nest. Upon her return, another eagle joins the nest. Even though the female recognizes the predator's plan, she waits for the initial move while sitting on the eggs. However, it continues to vocally warn the eagle. Not one to go away empty-handed, the male eagle steps forward a little. He was going to charge the one who was seated when she sprung directly in front of him, knocking him from the tree. She then checks the area to make sure her eggs are secure.
A suspected alien. When a man decided to act brave and go and investigate a haunted house, he did not expect that he would actually find something very creepy inside. As he moved forward while filming the house, his camera landed on a dark figure staring straight at him, which of course freaked the man out, and the video ended there. What exactly was that thing? Does it look like an alien to you? Again it. When these pictures hit the internet, they caused quite a stir. People were shocked to see a small cat perched on the backs of several larger animals, and wondered how could they be so calm about it. Some even joked that the cat must be the new queen of the animal kingdom. However, experts chimed in with a more practical explanation. The cat, again it, probably climbed on the animals to get a better vantage point for hunting. Talk about being a crafty hunter. An alien on roof. So this guy in Brazil was minding his own business when he saw something strange on a rooftop and started filming. The footage shows a bizarre creature that looks like a massive ant chilling on the roof. Some people are convinced it's an alien, But to me, it just looks like a really big ant. I mean, who knows what kind of creepy crawlies are out there in Brazil, right? The weirdest part is that the creature disappears right after the guy spots it. What was it up to? We may never know. A massive spider. Okay, so we stumbled upon this video online, and it's given me the heebie-jeebies. It's basically a ginormous spider, seriously massive, climbing up a building. I mean, who even wants to encounter this thing in real life? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the star of my nightmares for the next few weeks. But to be honest, I'm not even sure if it's real or just some kind of prank. Either way, I'm not taking any chances and staying far away from wherever this was recorded. A glowing creature. While some people were out late at night, they lost their way and ended up on a creepy road. Not knowing where to go, they stopped their car and were looking here and there. That is when this creepy glowing creature comes out from one side and runs to disappear on the other. It appeared to be on all four legs and was running in a very weird way to consider it a human. For some, it was a skinwalker, while for others, it was nothing but a hoax. But what do you guys think? Alien-like creature. Talking about strange creatures spotted in the woods, there's also this video. A man found this creepy tiny thing lying on the ground in the forest. While recording it, the man tried moving it with the help of a stick, but it was of no use as this thing wasn't alive. But with such a strange appearance, what even was that? Some kind of alien?
Coyote and deer. There was a wounded deer visible in front of the trail camera. Two tiny but ferociously hungry coyotes are standing behind it, waiting for the buck to faint so they can get to the meat. Even though the buck is awake, it appears as though it has given up on life because it does not defend itself from the coyotes that are getting closer. However, the coyotes don't always come out on top in the end, just like this. The mother deer appears to be in front of the camera, gathers her two fawns, and leaves the woodland after realizing that a brush wolf has been pursuing her young. And then, a little while later, the mother deer was spotted once more, sprinting after the coyote and narrowly missing it by a few inches. She was later observed circling around a bushy tree in an attempt to capture the fleeing coyote. She was unable to do so, but she managed to save her young from the predators. Hyena chases wildebeest. The coyote surprised the people by capturing the herd of wildebeest during the safari that came rushing towards them. One of them is visible breaking away from the herd, even though the others adhered to the directive to stick to the herd. And seizing the opportunity, the predator began pursuing it, even though it had moved a short distance and the coyote was still having difficulty catching up with it. After a while of running and chasing each other, they were both observed once more. But this time, the wild beast was seen fighting the predator. But after growing weary of the chase, the beast eventually met his demise.
Monster in the woods. Some friends were having the time of their lives camping in the woods, having snacks and bonfire and movie night. But then one of the friends went somewhere and minutes passed, but she did not come back. While they were all worried, they had to go check on her. And as they ventured deep into the woods searching for the friend, at first they hear her scream. And then a strange creature comes into view. A spider-like being crawling terrifyingly towards them. What was that? Well, nobody knows. Mysterious being. These two guys were out in the woods late at night. They thought it was a good idea to have some fireworks where no one will get disturbed. However, what they did not know is that someone will get disturbed, and it won't be good for them. As they were doing their thing, shrieks could be heard, and then they decided to go investigate it. And that's when we see the weirdest being possible shrieking and following the men.
Is it still there?
Go! No! Run! Run!
They did make it out alive, but that was one hell of a close call. An alien. Who recorded this video? Who uploaded it on the internet? What exactly was this alien doing? Well, these are some of the questions which remain unanswered, and we're only left with this eerie clip, which looks like it belongs to some kind of secret alien interrogation thing. And if you ask me, I'd say from the view of it, the video looks as legit as anything can be. But do let us know what you guys think. A scary looking thing. About this video, everyone has their own opinions. Some say it's just a gorilla, while others say it's a weird crawling creature, and to some it also looks like a spider. However, no matter what the being is, the way it slowly moves towards the camera, freaking out the man recording it,
What the fuck is that? Okay.
looks like something straight out of a horror movie. A terrifying beast. As a man was recording this massive waterfall, he started noticing something weird. As he zoomed in, he saw a mysterious black creature at the very edge of the waterfall. What was it? Definitely not a plant, because the area did not look like it had any plants there. To some, it was an unknown being, while to others, it was someone with safety gear sitting at a very dangerous spot. Real or fake? It looked really creepy.
A snake. Now, this video features a man who decides to take a photo in the woods. So he set up the camera and stepped away to get the perfect shot. Little did he know, as he squatted for the shot, a sneaky snake fell from above and startled him. In a panic, he threw the snake aside and took off running for dear life. It's a hilarious reminder to always keep an eye out for unexpected visitors in nature. A Russian satellite. Get ready to witness a cosmic spectacle in this video. It captures the moment a glowing meteor-like object streaks through the night sky, leaving a trail of light in its wake. The person behind the camera was awestruck. Being an avid meteor shower watcher, they had never seen such a long-lasting meteor. In a rush of excitement, they quickly grabbed their phone and started recording the mesmerizing sight. But for those who are still wondering what it was the remains of a Russian satellite which somehow got destroyed and fell towards the Earth. A black smoke ring. In this intriguing and captivating video, a mysterious black smoke ring can be seen hovering over the tops of several buildings. The smoke ring appears to be dense and perfectly circular, with a distinct border that separates it from the sky. Despite its ominous appearance, the source of the smoke ring remains unknown, leaving many to speculate on what it could be. Some believe that the ring may be a portal to another dimension or universe, while others think that it could be a strange atmospheric phenomenon. Regardless of its origin, the smoke ring is sure to leave a lasting impression on those who witness it.
Skinwalker. This pale creature, who appeared to be elderly, was observed strolling around Kentucky in 2022. Inspiring paranormal buffs, this video went viral right away. The video's unsettling atmosphere is enhanced by the alien-looking humanoid monster that is seen strolling down an abandoned street. It also appears to be a little slumped over. The creature appears to be lurking from somewhere and has a faceless body. Is it a ghost captured on camera, or might it really be an alien hiding from humans? While many people accept the visuals that have been supplied, some people reject the hypothesis and contest the veracity of the film, arguing that it might actually be a human being walking strangely. So, whose side are you on? Let me know. Lion attack. Wild creatures are one thing that people are always afraid to come across when they venture into the woods. Nobody can ensure a safe return if that wild animal turns out to be a lion. When these guys were heading inside their tents for the night, one such incident occurred. When two unexpected guests showed up in front of their tents, they began attacking anything that stood in their way. The lions appeared to be searching inside for prey, mostly out of curiosity and rage. One of them, the reportedly more hungry lion, noticed the man hiding in the tent and began tearing it apart with its powerful claws. Lingering for a while, unsure if he would catch his intended victim, finally the lions both depart, but with a scary memory for those campers to always remember. Ancient creature. In 2018, a strange-looking creature was discovered in a tiny Russian village. The farmer was walking home from a busy day when he noticed this freaky head emerging from the ground. He was captured on camera in a cornfield. He discovered the entire thing after going a little further. And it was much stranger than before. It resembled an undiscovered prehistoric species that had been discovered buried, thanks to its strange eyes and even stranger torso. And despite the fact that the scientists examined it right away, nothing has come to light. This gave it an even more ominous appearance. Rake caught in dark. The man who lived close to the woods decided to investigate after hearing unusual noises emanating from somewhere deep within the forest. Following his friend, they spent nearly an hour searching the dense forests without finding anything. They made the decision to go back. However, they began to hear the grunting sound once more as they were returning. And as soon as they turned their cameras to the other side, they saw a frightening thing that resembled an alien sitting next to a tree. When the cryptid realized it had been captured, it turned to face the boys and glared at them with its terrifying glowing eyes. They were eventually forced to flee back to their house. Ghostly Shadow. Living in the middle of the dark forest, the man had been spotting a strange shadow in his backyard. Therefore, after several appearances, he decided to follow it this time. Waiting for it on the other side, it was when he shifted that he spotted a huge shadow between the trees. It was a huge, slightly distorted shadow that was caught walking in the woods and left the people in shock as they considered it one of the most convincing evidence of an apparition captured. Snowy Bigfoot. Standing in the middle of nowhere, a group of explorers spotted this bizarre bipedal creature walking down the mountain. It had a huge body all covered in thick black hair. With a few claiming it to be another hiker walking on the mountain, onlookers stated that the creature was not wearing any snowshoes. Therefore, the examiners revealed that walking on the snow slope without any visible support would be impossible for a human. And the fact that it covered such a long distance in only a few seconds, right when the camera recorded the broad view, left the people stunned. Because, well, again, walking with such fast speed in snow is a hard task to do for any person. It's time for today's open discussion. A man heard some strange noises coming from his backyard, and going out to see what's happening, he did not capture anything in the woods present near his house. But it's when he shifts his camera that he spots the cryptid. With his back towards him, it felt like the creature was trying to take a big leap to reach the rooftop. Scared but trying to get rid of the creep outside his house, the man tossed a stick towards it, and then, turning around to see the man, not in a mood to react, the creature jumped on the roof, climbed it, and ran towards the other side. Though it is not known where it went, the camera captured it again, this time running on a road. But the huge size got the spectators thinking if it was really the exact creeper, or if some other creature had been wandering in their area. A bird staring. Like ostriches and other long-necked creatures, this bird doesn't scare easily. So, when he noticed that something was off, he took a menacing stance and decided that an eye-to-eye confrontation with the camera would let everyone know who's the boss around this neck of the woods. Raccoon. This raccoon was trying to get to the bird feeder above so he and his friends could have some food. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the food, but he did spray the bird seeds around so his hungry buddies could eat. Maybe this act of kindness earned it some points among its kind. Who knows? Grim Reaper. Most people know who the Grim Reaper is. He's basically death personified. This mythical character is often depicted wearing a cloak and carrying a scythe, which he uses to extract souls. But did this trail camera manage to capture an actual photo of him? It's either that, or a random stranger who decided to dress up and play a prank. A basketball lover. Who says that basketball is just for humans? This deer wouldn't mind going one-on-one with Michael Jordan or LeBron James on the basketball court. Unfortunately, it would be a very short game, as this poor deer got the ball stuck in its antlers. A standoff. A raccoon and a deer were caught in the middle of a standoff, or rather a stare-off from the looks of it, and things got tense. But if we had to bet money on this fight, we can't help but assume that the deer would win. Just look at its menacing eyes. Bear helps cub. Wild animals aren't always looking to attack each other for food. Take this photo for instance. You can see a large bear lifting a cub so that it can dig through the garbage bin looking for food. Is this a great example of teamwork, or what? Disturbed beings. If there's one thing humans should have learned by now, it's that deer aren't always as cute as Disney movies make them out to be. A trail camera caught a bunch of deer staring at the device, and judging by the looks on their faces, it's safe to assume they're not too welcoming of the technological device. Fisher cat. Not everyone knows that the animal caught on this trail cam is a fisher cat, and for months after the video was uploaded, the animal was considered as unknown and undiscovered. But we're here to tell you that this isn't an unknown animal, and in fact is a species of cat who's not found everywhere. They are not, however, considered felines. Just because of the way they look, they have been termed as fisher cats. Weird, right? A huge bear. Not everyone likes their picture being taken, and it isn't just us humans, but animals don't like it sometimes too. For instance, this huge bear. As the motion-activated camera sensed someone nearby, it started taking pictures with the flash, and the flash part is what the bear did not like at all. Good thing it did not try and destroy the camera, or else it had been impossible to get this clip.
Smartest orca alive. Some of you may already know that orcas are some of the most intelligent creatures ever known to humans. These animals are incredible. Not only do they learn quickly, but they can also communicate with and comprehend humans. However, what this orca managed to accomplish was beyond genius. At first, the orca had a fish that was given to it as a snack. The orca decided to put it to good use. It hurled it towards the seagulls, and then it waited until one of the unfortunate seagulls tried to get the fish. The orca used the fish as bait, and in the end, it was successful in carrying out its genius strategy. We should also add that it did this quite skillfully. We should all be amazed by their intelligence and skills. You don't get to see this every day. The fish zombie. This fish seems to be apparently dead and dried out with no sign of life until someone splashes some water on it. Suddenly, it pops back to life once more. Or was it ever dead in the first place? This sight is definitely a bizarre one. And if someone had told us about something like this without us seeing it, we would never have believed it. Watching it is really weird, but you can't deny something you see with your own eyes, can you? This crazy fish is called a suckermouth catfish. This species of fish has a very special ability that helps it survive up to 20 hours out of the water. So even at first glance you see a fish that is all scaly and dried up, don't be too quick to throw it into the pot of soup. You might have one messy situation on your hands. These dried out fish are just waiting for someone to put them back into the water. The super speedy croc. We're sure when you first saw a croc in action, you were grateful that these killing machines were not fast enough to catch you in the wild. What if I told you that you were wrong about that? A lot of people think they could outrun crocodiles because they are known all over the world for being super strong, but also super slow. However, it now seems that crocs have adapted their hunting style. This video shows a croc galloping and hopping like a horse or some weird cheetah. They have now become stronger and faster, so you better beware. Fish trapped in a jellyfish. The ocean can be a terrifying place, whether you are close to the surface or deep down below. At any moment, you can see something that will scare you for the rest of your life. In this clip, we can see two tiny fish traveling inside a jellyfish. It's almost as if the jellyfish is acting like a bus and transporting these cute little fellas. Now, isn't that jellyfish just a kind of creature to give these fishes a ride? While the fish may not know this particular jellyfish produces a pretty deadly kind of venom. Little do they know that they need to get out of their hiding spot as fast as possible, or else they might dissolve in there without ever knowing what hit them. Colugo. Now, this weird-looking creature that is before your eyes is not a scary mythical creature, but in fact, a mammal known as the colugo. We're pretty sure in ancient times, this creature must have been worshipped or something like that. It looks like something out of a scary children's tale. I mean, look at it. It is clingy, huge, loud, and with a very creepy voice. The colugo has webbed legs and hands. No matter how closely you look, there's not a single thing you can find adorable here. Well, unless you're into that sort of thing, of course.
Seizured lion. Moments after hunting its prey, a lion was observed in an extremely distressed situation. It walked around in circles before keeling over, its paws in the air. Suddenly, its body began jerking erratically before shaking uncontrollably. For the safari tourists, it seemed quite funny, but the reality behind this is utterly shocking. The lion, who appears to be shaking its body in an odd way, was actually suffering from seizures. According to some wildlife experts, the lion was an epilepsy patient and was found normal after these bizarre fits. Another lion was spotted in the same condition. However, it died afterward and was thought to be infected by CDV, an epidemic virus that has caused several fatalities within the Serengeti ecosystem of South Africa. In the middle of the forest, a trail camera caught a tiny yet terrifying creature. Weirdly covered in brown hair, it had a skinny body through which the innards were quite visible. Well, not just that, the vicious creature was also missing one of its legs. And even with such frightening features, it was anxiously running from something and was trying to reach the long trees to hide itself. But where did it come from, and from whom was it running? That is still a mystery. Chasing beast. A man suffering from Bigfoot fever while exploring a thick forest to capture the latest sightings of this mythical creature was petrified to hear a loud, terrifying scream. Apparently, no one was seen anywhere, so he decided to check for the animal. And instead of spotting the animal, he was welcomed by a huge, black figure, which was already waiting for him behind the dense woods. Filled with fear, he started running. As if spotting the giant dark figure wasn't that scary, the actual terror began when the great Bigfoot, rather than hiding or running away, started chasing its hunter. Fortunately, the man managed to escape, and the chasing beast vanished behind one of the bushes. Road crossing ghost. Even famous for being haunted, two friends decided to visit the eerie jungle anyway. Well, one who seeks it will be the one who finds it. And there it was, a weird translucent figure appearing right in front of them and crossing the road so swiftly that they thought they were imagining it. But then, not wanting to be forgotten, the weird creatures appeared again from the other side of the road. And this time, its humanoid body was quite visible. Possessed sheep. Circling round and round in the farm, something is seriously wrong with this sheep flock. Ignoring it at first, the farmer did not bother to notice the strange behavior for the first 24 hours. But when it did not stop, and they continued circling for 7 days, yeah, a whole week, that's when he got worried. Because how on earth can an animal do this? This remained a mystery till today, because no one has ever seen any animal possessing such a strange behavior. So, what do you think could be the reason behind it? Were the animals really possessed? Or might there be a justification for this weird stunt?
From a spooky human-like strange creature, to an alligator crunching on a fish, to a boar spinning around in a circle, prepare to be amazed and disturbed by what these cameras have captured in the wild. Trail cameras were created to capture the wonder of the wild and the magnificent creatures that roam the earth. But not all the footage captured is as lovely as one might expect. The wilderness is full of surprises, and sometimes the things we capture on film are not what we're hoping for. So sit back and join us on a journey into the unknown as we bring you to the 17 weirdest things ever caught on trail cameras. Prepare to be shocked, frightened, and disturbed as we delve into the depths of the mysterious and the unexplainable. 17. A badger engaging into an intense scratching. Tens of thousands have been captivated by this video. As you can see in this video, a badger is engaging in some intense body scratching. The animal is using its front paws to dig into its fur, almost as if it's trying to scratch an itch that just won't go away. This behavior is not something you typically see in the wild, and it's left us wondering what could be causing the badger to act this way. There could be several reasons why the badger is exhibiting this behavior. One possibility is that it has a skin irritation or parasite infestation. Badgers, like all animals, are susceptible to fleas, ticks, and other parasites that can cause skin irritation. By scratching, the badger is trying to relieve the itching sensation. Another possibility is that the badger is trying to remove loose fur or matted hair. This is a common behavior in animals during the molting season, when they shed their old fur and grow new hair. 16. Boar spinning around in circles. A forest is a magical place full of wonder and mystery. It's a place where creatures and animals can be themselves without the prying eyes of humans. When no one is watching, they reveal their true personalities and behaviors. And sometimes, we're lucky enough to catch a glimpse of it. In this amazing video, we witness a boar in the heart of the forest at night doing something quite unexpected. The boar starts to spin itself as if it's lost in a trance or caught up in the moment. This behavior is rarely seen among animals and is truly mesmerizing to watch. The boar is just enjoying itself without a care in the world. Watching this video is a reminder of the beauty and simplicity of nature. It's a reminder that animals just like us have personalities and can experience joy and happiness. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of modern life and forget about the wonder of the natural world. But videos like this one remind us to slow down, take a breath, and appreciate the beauty that surrounds us. 15.
Struck by owls. While exploring Arizona's deep forests, explorers have claimed to have seen a large number of dead birds. They were also able to determine the cause by installing their trail camera. These unfortunate eagles, resting on the tree, had no idea that a predator was waiting for them. When he was initially hidden in the dark woodland, the only way to identify the flying predator was with his bright eyes. Waiting for the right moment to strike, and then taking it, it materializes out of the shadows and accomplishes his intended task, striking the dozing eagle with his powerful claws. With his intensity, it appears nearly impossible for him to stop coming. Where in their defense, the eagles have most likely forgotten to soar, they could see the squirrel taking care of it for them. He made a huge, seemingly airborne leap as soon as he realized he was going to be attacked. However, this is where the owl was seen abruptly appearing on the track and striking the rider in the face. Wood chase. The days of mountain lions avoiding human interaction are long gone, as they are now frequently spotted interacting with hunters, and yes, even pursuing hikers. Like this time, a hiker on the route came with an enraged cougar. Trying to get the cougar to go away, practically pleading with it, the man turned to go back but was unable to turn around because that hungry predator would have an open invitation to go after him.
I promise. I'm not going away.
Since it's already waiting for its chance to assault the man. The man did indicate his safe return when he published the video, despite the fact that it ended in the middle of the chase. And here it was, a bear that had been seen pursuing the rider into the woodland. The bear bolted toward the cyclist, appearing out of nowhere among the trees. Even though he was riding quickly, the man was startled by a falling tree. He immediately got to his feet and raced to the right side of the woods, where he was fortunately spared from the assault. Sasquatch hunting. Paul Freeman, who was always on the lookout for Bigfoot in the impenetrable forests, gained notoriety in the late 1990s for presenting the most reliable Bigfoot evidence. And it's one of those unquestionable catches here. Captured in 1994 in Oregon's Blue Mountains, while on a walk in the woods, Paul noticed movement behind one of the trees. He quickly opened his camera and saw the walking bipedal ape. Heart thumping, he continued filming the hirsute beast, terrified by his discoveries. the hairy cryptid was big enough to be seen even if it was moving slowly. Following analysis, he went on to say that it was a massive beast that stood at least 2 meters tall. Gazelle ditches lion. When it comes to the lion versus any other wild animal, I believe that we are all a little biased toward the king of the jungle. However, this video will totally shift your point of view. A group of explorers was filming a gazelle drinking water in the Serengeti National Park when they noticed a lion coming stealthily in. They also predicted the outcome. Just as the lion was about to seize the gazelle, it surprised it with its incredible speed and leapt over it, heading in a different direction, surprising both the onlookers and the lion. As the gazelle managed to preserve itself, it was undoubtedly a memorable defeat, and the lion was unable to turn around due to his rapid speed. Well, if it was a stall, I must say, gazelles are quite good at it. Shocking, terrifying, and some utterly bizarre. Always boggling people's minds are these terrifying cryptids that live among the woods, which, though caught for the tiniest moment, provide enough proof of their existence. So, get ready for a ride in the woodland to capture these beings in their natural habitat. Bigfoot tossing tree. How could this Bigfoot be able to toss a tree like that? Taking a stroll in the woods, things took a terrifying turn when the man spotted a Bigfoot sitting on the trail. Well, it was not only sitting, but the hairy figure was actually preparing to launch a tree in the air. And here it goes. Terrified of the giant animal, though the man could not record it any further, experts, while analyzing the footage, explained that the tree was no less than 3 meters long, and the creature throwing it in the air was no doubt a superhuman, as no ordinary man would be able to make such a big throw with only a slight movement in his arm. And even if it's not a Bigfoot, this has to be a supernatural being that was caught on camera. Georgian Bigfoot. Scared, but still chasing the massive beast, this man is determined to get even a glimpse of the alleged Bigfoot. Vacationing on the Blue Ridge in Georgia and taking a stroll on the trail in daytime, this man heard a large growl coming from the dense forest. Recording the entire time, the man luckily captured the Bigfoot walking among the woods. Running towards the Bigfoot's direction, the man can be heard forcing his fellows to go back inside, as who knows whether the giant animal might attack them. And because the video ends abruptly, what happens next could not be known. Mountain lion versus elks. There is only one end to anything that stands against the mountain lion, which is, well, you're about to know what it is. While grazing on the lush green pastures, these elks had no idea that a predator was slowly moving towards them. And then they all realized that they were in danger. But it was too late to run, as the predator could ambush from anywhere, and they clearly don't have any idea where it was hiding. So they wait till the cougar makes the first move. And here it comes, pouncing straight at the elks from the far right corner. Not capturing the entire attack on camera, the owner revealed that he did find a calf's carcass a few meters away from the site. Bear attacks wolf's den. Though it might be a little disturbing for some of the viewers, that's just how the animals survive in the wild. A man, while setting up his camera, spotted a red fox earth. Taking a look inside, he found wolf cubs staying there in a den. And then the trail camera recorded a bear digging the den to get to the wolf pups. Destroying it speedily, the bear could be seen looking inside for the pups. And just when the bear leaves, the wolf parents could be seen coming back. Terrified of the invader, even after spotting the bear digging the burrow, they did not try to go near it. But, worried for their pups, the wolves came back there again at night, and probably found their dead or half-eaten babies and left.
A fish. In this wild and crazy CCTV clip, things take a turn for the unexpected. A peaceful street is shown with a couple of cars parked, minding their own business. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a fish comes plummeting from the sky, landing straight on top of one of the vehicles. The sound is so loud, it wakes up the neighbors, and one woman, armed with her curiosity, rushes out to see what's going on. The scene is truly a comical one, leaving everyone scratching their heads in wonder. Who knew that fish could fly, and in such an unpredictable manner too? Red rain. In a series of video clips, the mysterious and awe-inspiring phenomenon of red rain is captured. The red rain, which is actually made up of small red particles, falls from the sky and dyes everything it touches a deep shade of red. Scientists have been unable to fully explain this phenomenon, but many theories suggest that the red particles are the result of the release of red dust from the upper atmosphere, or from an extraterrestrial source. The sight of the red rain is truly mesmerizing and has left many onlookers in awe. Despite the lack of explanation, the red rain continues to captivate people with its beauty and intrigue. A big ice chunk. Alright folks, you won't believe what this woman caught on camera. She was just filming the cloudy sky in this massive building, minding her own business, when all of a sudden she sees a hunk of ice falling from the sky. She freaks out and starts shouting warnings to anyone nearby.
Oh my God, watch out!
Lucky for everyone, no one was in the direct path of the falling ice. Can you imagine getting hit by a giant chunk of ice? Talk about a bad day.
A visitor. Imagine you're at home, catching some me time or just enjoying some alone time when you glance over and see an alien's head staring straight at you through the window. I mean, that'd freak anyone out, right? Luckily for us, a guy with a camera in his home caught the whole thing on video. It's easily one of the spookiest and clearest sightings of an alien ever caught on camera. A creepy monster. This massive creature was filmed by a man who went out to do some walk in the woods. When he was on it, he heard voices which sounded very similar to a baby crying. Intrigued, he had to go see where the sound was coming from and came across this. A giant weird thing crying and crawling on the ground. But worry not, because this is just a giant salamander who's known to vocalize barking, whining, hissing, or crying sounds. A strange creature. This trail cam footage might look very normal to you at first, but wait till it starts getting creepier. See that? See how the deer was about to turn into some kind of a monster? Well, it's been edited with some pretty impressive AI software that makes the deer look like they're transforming into demonic creatures. I just wanted to share it to show how advanced our technology has become. Pretty scary, right? A river monster. At first, people watching it thought it was an alligator or something, but then they saw it move in the strangest way possible. It was moving only with the help of its strong tail. Also, its front legs were missing. Was it just an alligator with its front legs missing? Or is it some type of evolving river monster which will wash out the whole human race? What do you guys think?
The beer rings the doorbell. One spooky night out in the wild woods, there was a curious bear on the prowl. This furry friend had a freak glamour for doorbells. Little did anyone know that a trail camera had its open-eyed eye on the scene. As the moon cast creepy dark, the bear approached a lonely house. In the pitch-black night, it reared up on its hind legs like a big, light jumbo, and with a heavy paw, it reached out to press the doorbell. It was a bit like a big, furry cutlet poking at the button. The trail camera, hidden hard, snapped a print just in time to capture this unforeseen moment. The bear's sportful curiosity, or maybe its mischievous intentions, were a riddle, but the image revealed a humorous side of nature. The house, unknowing of the darkness caller, stayed quiet as the bear's bell-ringing adventure came to an end. This strange but fascinating event was a remembrance of the surprising encounters that can be in the wild, indeed when we least await it. Lion killed the cheetah. Once upon a time, on a bright and sunny day, there was a big, strong lion and a fast, spotted cheetah. They both lived on a farm with lots of creatures. The lion and the cheetah were always trying to prove who was the powerful. One day, the captain and the cheetah had a big fight. The captain was actually strong, with sharp teeth and strong muscles. He roared loudly and showed his strength. The cheetah, on the other hand, was quick and graceful. She ran around trying to outsmart the lion. In the end, after a fierce battle, the lion managed to catch the cheetah. With a strong swipe of his paw, he defeated the cheetah. It was a tough day for the ranch, as the lion had shown his strength and won the battle. The other creatures watched in astonishment as the lion proved his dominance, but they also felt sad for the courageous cheetah. This day became a part of the farm's history, a day when the lion showed his power, and the cheetah's spirit faded from memory. Thank you for coming along on this spooky adventure with us. Subscribe to our channel if you want more spine-chilling stories and hair-raising encounters. And remember to set that notification bell to ensure you get all the updates on our fascinating adventures.
A skydiver. This video depicts a skydiver's heart-stopping moment during a high-altitude jump. At 8,000 feet above the ground, the skydiver's parachute malfunctioned, causing them to plummet towards the earth at a breathtaking speed of 30 miles per hour. Despite the potentially fatal situation, the diver was able to navigate the reserve chute and make a safe landing, avoiding any serious injury. The video captures the adrenaline-fueled moments of the jump and serves as a testament to the quick thinking and training of the skydiver. Iguanas falling. It's a strange scene that is being reported from Florida, where iguanas are seen falling from the sky. That's right, you heard it correctly. Iguanas raining from the sky! This bizarre occurrence is due to an extreme drop in temperature, which has caused the lizards to freeze on the trees and fall off. Although they may appear to be dead, the wintry spell has only temporarily immobilized them, causing them to slip into a temporary coma. Although they aren't dead, authorities have warned people not to bring these wild animals inside their homes, as they may get defensive and potentially attack when they warm up. The sight of these strange creatures falling from the sky was a surreal experience for the residents of Florida. Giant hailstones. Nature has shown its power with a vengeance in Catalonia, Spain. The region was hit by a sudden and devastating hailstorm that left destruction in its wake. Those hailstones were no ordinary size, with some measuring over 11 centimeters in diameter. The storm shattered windows, roofs, and cars and left over 50 people injured. And the most heartbreaking part of this tragedy was the loss of a 20-month-old girl, even though it only lasted 10 minutes. But those were 10 minutes of pure terror. This was the worst hailstorm to hit the region since 2002, and is believed that the unusually hot summer played a role in creating these vicious storms. There are times when the unknown happens in woods, from alien-like creatures and weird mutant deers to the creatures who attack humans and tiny gray creatures in the woods. Here are the most disturbing encounters caught on cameras. A giant. It looks like a giant with a sharp weapon or something in his hand, walking as if it's finding prey to kill and eat. But wait, giants aren't real, right? Or maybe they are. Maybe we just don't know much about them. With so many weird things happening, anything can be possible. A weird deer. While a man was busy recording a deer who appeared to be scared of him at first, but then suddenly stopped, as if it was scared of something, and then turned back and went hopping away beside the man. He was all confused, just like anyone would be. But then he saw something that scared him too. A deer emerged from the bushes with a deformed neck. Or was it a skinwalker? Because that's what most people said. A creature attack. Some friends were out having a bonfire and enjoying the night when they started hearing weird noises coming from the woods. One of them decided to be brave and go and check, while others were there recording him. And this is when this happened. Even though they immediately ran to save their friend, we have no idea what happened afterwards as the video abruptly ended. A pair of glowing eyes. What will you do if there is a scary noise coming out of your roof? Will you go check it out like this man did? And there he ended up seeing a creature on the roof with its eyes glowing like some kind of demon. Or was it really the demon? No one could tell as the creature disappeared, leaving the man too shocked and scared to do anything. I hope he left the country the next day because the creature looked like it might love to follow him around. A gray man. There was a place where locals kept seeing strange things and weird creatures in the woods, but no one believed them until they hid themselves there with cameras and recorded this little gray man going about his usual life in the woods. It stood there for a few seconds until it sensed humans nearby and went away from where it came from, leaving us with hundreds of questions but no one to get answers from. A dwarf. This happened in a small town in Mexico. Let me tell you, the town is famous for its unusual happenings. In this video, we see a man first playing with his dog, and then he moved the camera to a little girl who was just going about her business. And that is when a tiny creature appeared on the screen, making the girl scream in fear and run away. And that's where the video ended. A witch. Unlike most of the videos in today's list, this one was recorded in a home where 3 guys were talking while lightly playing with a ball. And that is when a short black witch-like thing appeared out of nowhere and went past them in a hurry, which scared the boys quite a lot. When it was uploaded on the internet, some said it was definitely a witch, while others couldn't help but think it was a fake video. A tiny creature. And this one is a very short video, but creepy nonetheless. While the little kid enjoyed her swing, we see a tiny creature running from somewhere behind her. Was it a dwarf, or a ghost, or something more mischievous and scary? I guess we will never know. An unknown person. A man was out driving at night to get to his home, and while he was halfway through, he saw something quite creepy. A woman dressed in fancy clothing was walking on the road. Since she was too far, we can't clearly make out of her dressing, but that's what the man said. Even though he stood there for a few minutes, the woman did not come near. She just kept walking in that area. A scary cemetery. What if you were in a cemetery visiting a loved one and you encountered a weird man who disappeared behind a pole? Well, that's exactly what happened to this man, and he approached the spot to see where the man had gone, but no one was there. So he hurried back home with 1,000 questions swirling in his mind and a great deal of fear in his heart. A giant humanoid. In a terrifying encounter in Alberta, Canada, a man captured a video that appears to unveil an enormous creature, potentially belonging to a tribe of colossal beings native to the region, leisurely walking atop of a mountain without any visible means of support. The shadowy figure is of such immense size that it was noticed by 2 individuals during their usual commute. A multitude of individuals are now filled with curiosity, questioning the validity of the legends surrounding giants in this area. Could it be that there's something far more sinister lurking within the mysterious Alberta mountains? Mermaid. This video was recorded in China and has caused controversy since then. Some say that the mermaid in the video is real, and there have been numerous sightings of mermaids in the area, while others refuse to believe it, saying it is nothing but fake. There have been no comments by the authorities, so we can't be sure. But what if it is real? The Rake. The Rake is a popular creepy urban legend, similar to Slender Man, about a humanoid creature that attacks people. In a video posted by a man on July 25, 2011, filmed near the Hudson Bridge, he heard strange noises on his roof and decided to go check out what was happening while recording it all. While exploring, he unexpectedly falls off the roof, even though he was not injured or anything. The footage revealed a terrifying creature staring back at him later, leaving us all to imagine, was that really a rake?
Hello? Oh my god.
A smart genet. Even though the video was recorded in 2014, people still can't believe what they saw. The motion detecting trail camera sensed someone passing by one night and took some photos and a short video. Those photos showed a genet riding on big animals like a buffalo one night and on a rhino another night. When the video was posted on the internet, it left people speechless. Experts said that the animal did it to look for prey, and from that high point, it was easier to spot one. Isn't that one smart cat? Aliens. Now this clip might be a little blurry, but what it shows is just creepy as hell. A man was having his normal day when he felt that there was someone nearby. Considering he was in the woods, where usually no one goes, he took his camera out and started recording. And what he captured was a creature moving very quickly behind the trees.
There. Do you see it?
Its pace and height made it seem not like a human. But then, what was it? The mystery remains unknown. Someone behind the tree. This video was recorded by a group of friends who were looking for ghosts and other unusual beings they thought that would be present there. And that's exactly what they happened to come across. They were hearing strange noises, and when they went deeper into the forest to investigate, they saw a weird creature staring at them from behind the tree. As soon as they spotted it, it disappeared.
Oh shit.
A black thing. A weird black smoke-like being is what appears in this video, and this happened when an arrest was going on in Florida. Neither the police officers nor the other man had any idea about it. They remained oblivious to the thing, but the guy recording it was surely freaked out. Scary deer. This weird image was captured by a trail camera in 2022, and what we see here is a deer with scary mutations. Was this a result of some scary experiments going on with animals, or was this just some natural mutation? Nobody knows. Ghost Man. A glowy figure which appeared to have a white cloth on is what we see in this picture. But who was he? What was he doing so late at night, so deep in the woods? Nobody could tell, and people couldn't help but think that it was a ghost, as there was no way a human could wander off alone in that place at night. 3 eyes. It might look like a normal trail cam captured photo, but when you see it closely, you will see 3 glowing eyes on the left. But last time I checked, there was no animal with 3 eyes. But then, what was it? An alien or a ghost? Do let us know what you guys think. Panther. To some, it looked like a black panther, and to others, it looked like a ghostly vampire panther with such long fangs. It could be just a normal panther, but then how do we explain the glowy thing with it? It's surely a weird photo captured by the camera at the weirdest time possible. A ghost kid. Look closely and you will find a kid walking around in the woods in this picture. When the man uploaded it on Facebook, he was asking others if anyone knew who the kid was, and surprisingly, no one did. The kid's presence and identity remained unknown forever, leaving everyone until today to wonder who it was and what happened there. A weird crawling creature. Have you seen this bizarre video that's been going around? It's super short, but it shows this seriously weird creature on a random trail in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to make out what it is, but it kind of resembles a woman with a really strange posture. The thing is all muddy or dark brown and crawling around, scratching the ground with its long, skinny fingers. It also has something pointy sticking out of its head and seems to be crying. Raccoons fighting a deer. You know those pesky raccoons in North America that are always causing trouble for humans? Well, turns out they can annoy bucks too. In this video, these little thieves were initially tolerated as they stole food from the fields. But after a while, the buck's patience reached its limit. The food was running out, but the raccoons just kept showing up. There were so many raccoons, and they were so stubborn that the deer felt overwhelmed and decided to take matters into its own hooves. Eagle versus owl. Out of nowhere, a sneaky owl swoops down and surprises an unsuspecting eagle with a sudden attack. The eagle tries its best to fight back, but unfortunately, it doesn't stand a chance. It's pretty unusual to see an owl acting so aggressively, and experts are baffled trying to figure out what triggered this unexpected behavior. We're still in the dark about why the owl did what it did, leaving us with lots of questions about the wonders of the animal kingdom. Breathing Earth. This trail cam video showed us how Earth was actually moving up and down like it was tired from spinning and orbiting the sun non-stop. It's like the Earth needed a break to catch its breath. They call it breathing Earth when the ground gets loose and the wind is extra strong, making it move up and down as if it's taking a breath. If you don't know what it was, it would definitely freak you out. You might think the Earth is about to swallow you up, but it's not for the faint-hearted. Real mermaid found swimming. Check out this cool video of a mermaid swimming underwater. It looks so real. The mermaid's tail is super thin and lifelike, and it's swimming way faster than any human could. The other sea creatures around it seem totally chill, like they see mermaids all the time. If it was a person, those fish would be freaking out. A Tasmanian tiger. Guess what? There's this mysterious footage that's causing a big debate online. It's from a trail camera, and for a few seconds, you can see this blurry creature that some people think could be the Tasmanian tiger, a species believed to be extinct. Since the video quality isn't great and it's nighttime, we can't be sure if it's legit. a weird woman. Here's a strange story about a woman in a white dress who was walking in the middle of the road at night. Her walk was so weird that anyone would feel creeped out by it. It's unclear whether she was a witch or just an old woman in need of help. We'll probably never find out. Black creepy creature. Two farmers in Mexico were woken up in the middle of the night by their goats going crazy. They rushed outside to see what the commotion was about, and guess what? They found a weird black creature clinging onto one of their goats' necks. They tried everything to get it off, but it took a few minutes of struggling before it finally let go and scurried off into the woods. The farmers even tried to chase after it, but it vanished into thin air. Can you believe it? What do you think that strange creature could be, and where did it come from? The mystery remains unsolved. Face-changing woman. Here's a super creepy video caught on a security camera. When it first went online, it blew everyone's minds. Not only do the woman's eyes glow, but she also undergoes some freaky face changing. We don't know who she is for sure, but this video will definitely give you the creeps every time you watch it. A little ghost. This scary video was recorded in the woods where a little ghost dressed as a human was seen hopping around. But wait until it turns towards the camera. And that's when you see that the little ghost is a dog dressed as a little girl and was just annoying some peaceful moments in the woods. The scariest clip. This video was uploaded a few years back on YouTube and scared the whole world. It shows what appears to be two girls in skirts, one holding the other one and smashing her here and there while walking on a wall. For me, it is the most terrifying clip out there. Skinwalker. The woman was enjoying her peaceful sleep in her room when she heard weird noises. As she woke up, she saw this weird as hell goat coming into her room, but things weren't very scary until the goat opened its mouth. If it were me, I wouldn't know what I would have done. Seriously. A dead mermaid. Are mermaids actually not real, or are these scientists and experts hiding things from us? Because there's a hell of a lot of proof out there that shows they might be real. Just like this video where a dead mermaid is being filmed by a man. Maybe it isn't like what we all have imagined, but it is the closest anything could get to a definition of a mermaid. A thief. This clip was recorded in 2018 and was posted on the internet with a caption saying, "Ghost caught on camera." However, if you look closely, it only looks like a kid trying to sneak into a home. And then there is another kid sitting there. And not just that, we see a ghost walking on the roof too. So what do you guys think? Isn't that creepy? A haunted hospital. In July 2022, something strange happened in a hospital. While we see people waiting in the lobby, a surgeon appears, scared as hell, and runs away tripping here and there. The people there did not give it much importance until they see a wheelchair coming from the left, and then it turns towards them on its own. That's when they knew it wasn't something funny. It was a haunted hospital. A ghost on highway. While driving on the Queensland Highway, the driver had no idea something surprising was about to happen. As he kept driving, he noticed something strange on the side of the road. To his surprise, he and other people saw a ghostly figure standing right in the middle of the road. The ghost looked like a pure white child floating just a little bit above the ground. This spooky sighting became famous and many people started calling it the Ghost Child. However, some people who didn't believe in ghosts argued that it might not be real. Creature feeding on a goat. In Mexico, two farmers were woken up by their goats crying late at night. Concerned for their animals, they hurried outside to see what was going on. To their surprise, they discovered a black, unfamiliar creature hanging from one of the goat's necks. Despite their attempts to free the goat, the creature stubbornly clung on. After a few minutes of struggle, it finally let go and ran away into the woods. The farmers tried to pursue it, but were unsuccessful. The identity and origin of this strange creature remain a mystery. A werewolf. A farmer in South Africa stumbled upon a sight that he never anticipated. He found a dead werewolf on his farm, which was later taken by researchers for investigation. Disturbing photos and videos of the werewolf were later uploaded by unknown individuals, causing fear in those who saw them. Despite being taken for further examination, no explanation was provided, adding to the mystery surrounding the event. A sea dragon. In Vietnam, a farmer went to a nearby pond and witnessed something that many would consider impossible. As seen in the video, the face of a dragon emerged from the water's surface. The dragon briefly looked around as if searching for someone, and the video ends at that point. Was it truly a dragon or some type of sea monster? Share your thoughts on what you believe it could be. A mysterious creature attack. A man in a backyard was captured on a CCTV camera being attacked and dragged by a mysterious creature. Some people might think it's not real, but I've watched it a few times and it seems genuine to me. The way the guy fights back and then gets thrown back to where he started is absolutely crazy. I don't know what it could be, but I hope the person involved is okay now. It's definitely something that makes you wonder about the unknown things in the world. An unknown attacker. Farmers in Puerto Rico were getting worried as their animals kept getting attacked by an unknown predator. Investigators tried to figure out what it was, but they couldn't find any clues. Initially, people thought it was a wolf, but the footprints didn't match. Some people claimed to have seen something like an ape and called it a chupacabra. It mostly targeted goats. The whole situation was scary and kept everyone on edge. And even though it happened a few years ago, the mystery remains unsolved. A dogman. In South Africa, a strange creature has been spotted roaming around town. It looks like a mix of a man and a dog, and it lives and eats with other dogs. There are many rumors and fears surrounding it, but nobody has been able to get close and learn more. We only have blurry camera footage of it walking with its furry friends. The big question is whether it's just a man with mental issues or something more unusual. Let us know your thoughts. A giant bat. Imagine you're a farmer, excited to start your day and work in the field with your animals. But when you arrive, this is what you see. Not a pleasant sight, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to this farmer who encountered the world's largest bat in his field. It's so big that people refer to it as the flying fox. A human-faced fish. Now, let's watch this astonishing video from China where a fish was discovered that has a face resembling a human's. The video became extremely popular in November 2019, and people were completely startled. Some people believe it was a carp with a face that looked like a human's, but we can't be certain. Although the video is authentic, it's possible that the way the fish's scales appear on the camera's angle might have created that illusion. What do you think? A mummified dog. We all adore dogs, right? But have you seen Stucky, the dog that got mummified? A farmer discovered this well-preserved dog while working in the forest and cutting down trees. Trapped inside a tree trunk, he was protected from predators, insects, and the weather. How did this occur, you may wonder? It's a mystery. Some theories propose that the dog might have become trapped and died while inside the oak tree. Whatever the reason, it's truly astonishing to witness how well nature can preserve things. Take a look at the picture of Stucky, and you'll understand why it's simultaneously eerie and magnificent. Horse-eating chicken. Get ready to be amazed by something incredible, straight from the farm. If you love horses and think they're the most gentle creatures, you might want to take a seat for this. In this video, we witness a horse doing something unexpected, devouring a family of chickens by eating one of the little chicks. The mother chicken tries her best to protect her offspring, but she's no match for the enormous horse. It's shocking to observe such behavior from a seemingly peaceful animal, but it serves as a reminder that animals can surprise us in various ways. A spy gorilla. Trail cameras mounted on trees recording animals is an old thing now. Spy cameras dressed and set as actual animals is the new thing now, and we see that in this video, which shows a spy gorilla camera in action. At first, the clan thought it to be weird and had to do a little inspection before they made the decision that the gorilla is no harm, so they'll let it stay. And that's when the camera recorded the beautiful moments of the gorilla family. A mutant calf. A farmer in North Macedonia was ecstatic as his cow was expected to deliver twins. But what actually happened left him in shock. Instead of 2 healthy calves, a mutant calf with 2 heads was born. The skulls were fused together, and it was unclear what caused this strange occurrence. Despite surviving for a few days, the vets believed that it would not live much longer. But according to the latest news, the calf is still alive. Maybe it'll actually live just as long as usual calves do. A scary ghost. Let's check out this clip captured on a home security camera outside a house. You can hear faint footsteps before a blurry figure appears and moves across the screen. Since the video quality is poor, it's hard to make out any details. Is it a prowler, or could it be something paranormal? Upon closer inspection, the figure seems to briefly disappear when it reaches the center of the screen. This leaves us wondering if it's just a camera glitch, or if there's something more sinister going on. Two-headed cow. In 2015, a farmer named Dwight Cruz in Florida had an astonishing experience when his cow gave birth to a calf with two faces. The calf, named Annabelle, had 2 heads, 4 eyes, 2 ears, 2 mouths, and 2 noses. However, it also had 2 brains, which made it difficult for the calf to coordinate and feed from its mother. Consequently, the farm owner had to feed the poor baby with a bottle. Known as dicephalic parapagus, occurs when the embryo fails to split correctly during pregnancy and could be genetic. A strange monkey. Riding through the peaceful forest, a lone biker suddenly comes across a strange and mysterious creature. As a cyclist gets closer to a narrow trail surrounded by tall walls, a weird and otherworldly being jumps down from the wall and almost crashes into the biker. Surprised, the cyclist stops to look for the creature, but it has disappeared without a trace. Because of its strange look and incredible speed, it's hard to figure out exactly what this creature could be. Californian coast mermaid. In the video, we can see the mermaid swaying its tail in an impressive way. The tail movement confirms that it's a real mermaid, and not a person wearing a mermaid tail, as no one can shake a fake tail that skillfully. The video is a bit blurry, but I believe it's genuine, and not some edited nonsense people post on social media. There's plenty of evidence supporting the existence of this species, and I genuinely think they exist, but we humans still need to uncover their secret hiding spots. Dancing bear. When a wildlife channel placed cameras in the jungle, their goal was to capture footage of animals being themselves. What they didn't expect was to witness bears shaking their behinds and moving like Shakira in the woods. Just like us humans, bears get itchy sometimes. But unlike us, they scratch their backs on trees, and they absolutely love doing it. I mean, look at them. A woman stabbing herself. You won't believe what I just saw in this video. So it was late at night, and this guy was driving his usual route when he came across something super creepy. He was like, nope, I'm turning back and getting out of here. There was this ghostly woman in the middle of the road, holding a knife, and she was actually stabbing herself. Can you imagine? What would you do if you witnessed that? Animals reacting to reflections. There was a French photographer who decided to set up a camera and a big mirror in the middle of the jungle. He wanted to see how the animals would react to their own reflections. And guess what? It turned out way crazier than he expected. The leopard couldn't get enough of itself. The gorilla saw it as a chance to have a fight with its own reflection. And the elephant didn't really care much. But the chimpanzees, oh boy, they had a blast checking themselves out while scratching. Mermaid on the dock. Imagine there's a dock and out of nowhere a mermaid shows up. She looks all confused, swimming back and forth like she's trying to find her way to the water. But here's the strange part. There were people around, and they didn't do anything. I mean, come on, if I saw a mermaid, I'd be freaking out. You'd think someone would have called the authorities or something. Now, there's a big debate about whether this video is real or edited. Nobody really knows for sure. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Dobby. Imagine if the magical world from the books and movies were actually real. Well, after watching this video of a creature that looks just like Dobby, I can't help but wonder if there's a hidden realm of magic out there that we humans don't know about. This creature was doing some kind of funky dance with its thin legs, and trust me, it definitely wasn't a human or some kid doing a chicken dance. A witch. This spooky video was recorded in Mexico in 2006. You can see a mysterious figure flying through the sky on a broomstick. Some people think it's a witch. The locals had been talking about these witches for ages, but nobody had any proof until this footage was taken. The witch's flight looks a bit shaky, so maybe she's a new witch still practicing her flying skills. Man vanished. This Ring camera recorded a man walking on the street at night, but just after a few seconds, he appeared to have vanished in thin air. It was in the middle of the camera's view, so we cannot say that he may have walked to the edge of the view. Now, how did this happen and who exactly was the man? This answer remained unknown as the woman whose camera recorded it said she had never seen him before. A brave mongoose. Prepare to be amazed by this wild encounter. So, a lion comes across a mongoose and decides to have some fun with it. The poor mongoose gets caught, but it refuses to give up. It keeps trying to escape, even though the lion is determined to keep it as a plaything. This back and forth goes on for minutes, and just when it seems like the mongoose is done for, the lion gets distracted by another lion. That's the mongoose's chance to make a break for it. Fighting pandas. In this video, two big pandas are fighting like crazy, and it's leaving us all shocked and confused. Normally, these gentle creatures are all about munching on bamboo, playing around, and doing cute somersaults. But it turns out, even pandas can get feisty sometimes. We don't really know why they suddenly got so aggressive. A cute fight. I mean, let's be honest, for the bunny gang, this fight was probably a big deal. But if we as humans saw these two bunnies trying to throw punches while hopping around in perfect sync, it would be hard not to find it absolutely adorable. Of course, I'm not saying we should jump in and break it up. Who knows, we might end up with a bunny punch right in the face too, right? Dirt bath. Who says birds don't need a spa day? These sparrows are taking their grooming routine to a whole new level in the woods. They're into this thing called dirt bathing. Basically, they cover themselves in dirt to keep their feathers healthy and prevent too much oil buildup. It's quite a sight to see these birds dipping themselves in the dirt, rolling around and flapping their wings to make sure every feather gets coated. They're pretty hygienic for little creatures, don't you think? A trail cam thief. So there's this coyote just strolling through the woods when it spots a trail camera nearby. Well, it seems like the camera caught its attention because it kept coming back trying to snatch it. After a few tries, it actually succeeded and bolted away with the camera as fast and as far as it could. The camera had quite an adventure with the coyote, getting all battered and scratched until its rightful owner found it. A snake. Alright, so in this video, we've got this guy who decides to take a picture in the woods. He sets up the camera and steps back to get the perfect shot. Little did he know, while he's crouching down for the pic, a sneaky snake drops down from above and scares the living daylights out of him. In a panic, he chucks the snake away and runs for his dear life. A bear on rope. A cool video of a big black bear in Canada was captured by the Garrett Bros Outfitting YouTube channel back in 2013. The bear was determined to reach a hanging beaver that was out of its grasp. So it showed off its strength and athletic skills by climbing a tree and hanging from a rope. Despite its best efforts, the bear couldn't reach the beaver and ended up falling down. It gave up on its meal in the end. A trespassing bear. In this funny incident, a bear trespassed onto someone's property at night and tried to snack on some chickens. It attempted to break into the chicken coop, but got startled by a strange voice and decided to run away as fast as possible. Turns out, the owner, Haley, woke up in the middle of the night and shouted at the bear from a window to scare it off. Witch in a graveyard. While exploring a graveyard in Hungary, a guy who was researching ghosts and unusual artifacts came across a spooky encounter. He stumbled upon necklaces made from human teeth and an abandoned graveyard. To his surprise, he discovered a goth-looking woman, possibly a witch hiding in the area. Instead of running away, he shouted at her, causing her to gather her things and flee. The guy tried to chase after her into the forest, but suddenly fell to the ground as if something was holding his feet down. A cult. This next video is seriously eerie. So imagine a car driving along a dark road at night, right? Suddenly, out of nowhere, a bunch of guys dressed like, guess who? Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, I know, weird, right? Anyway, what's even creepier is when they all stop to peek into the car, and then there's this mysterious light in the background. Oh, and there's this one guy wearing a mask too. Two babies. So there's this cute bear cub named Boog, and guess what he finds in his living room? A baby deer is just chilling there. At first, Boog is kinda careful, slowly approaching the little deer. But the deer is like, nah, I'm not interested, and ignores Boog's attempts to be buddies. But you know what? Boog doesn't give up. He's patient and keeps trying until he finally wins her over. And then they have this adorable little encounter. Who says animals can't be friends, right? A bear. So you know how bears are usually all fluffy and adorable? Well, let me tell you, don't invade their personal space, my friend. They can get pretty feisty. In this video, we've got a little bear who stumbled upon a trail camera. And boy, oh boy, he wasn't having any of it. He went crazy shaking and wiggling that camera until it broke. I mean, it's hilarious to watch, but I kind of feel sorry for the poor camera. Vanished baby. So picture this, a baby girl sitting in her crib minding her own business. And then, out of nowhere in just 2 seconds, a hand comes in and snatches the baby away. Vanished, just like that. It's super creepy, especially when you slow down the video. All you can see is this scary looking hand slipping through the crib's back and grabbing the baby. Some people might think it's fake, but if you look closely, there's no visible editing. A brave cat. Check out this funny video where a cat saves a little boy from a dog who's trying to play rough. The dog grabs the boy's leg, but the clever cat kicks the dog hard. Then the boy's mom rushes in to help while the fearless cat scares the dog away. It just goes to show that cats can be protectors too, and dogs aren't always the only ones looking out for us. Caught in the act. This not-so-smart thief thought he could take a trail camera from the woods, but guess what? It was securely attached to a tree. He pulled and tugged with all his might, but couldn't budge it. Eventually, he gave up and left the camera hanging upside down. Now he's become an internet sensation for all the wrong reasons. So, remember kids, crime doesn't pay, especially when you end up being the laughingstock of the internet. Witch performing fire ritual. Back in 1970, a German journalist named Ralph Olsen captured some really spooky footage while traveling in Africa. He stumbled upon a shaman in a rural area who was performing a magic ritual to connect with spirits. The witch lived in the hills and started by creating a ring of fire. As her followers chanted, she slowly levitated off the ground and then came back down. This happened multiple times. When the journalist shared the footage, people in the broadcasting community made fun of him, ruining his reputation. A pixie. You know those little fairy-like creatures called pixies? Well, they're mostly from mythology, but there have been times when people saw things that made them think otherwise. This video shows exactly what pixies might look like if they were real. Imagine a tiny being popping its head out of a mountain cave. It seemed like it was checking out the man filming it. It only stayed for a few seconds before disappearing back into the cave. A strange hiding creature. This guy was exploring the jungle, being all adventurous when he stumbled upon a cave. Of course, he couldn't resist going in to check it out. But guess what? He found something he never expected. A creepy creature crawling towards him in the dark. Talk about a heart-pounding moment. He ran out of there as fast as his feet could carry him. We still don't know what that thing was, but it definitely wasn't Spider-Man.